While the Philippines is a country known for its abundance of natural resources, it suffers from major human-caused environmental degradation, and that comes as a result of a high annual population growth rate. This increase of citizens leads to the rise in demand for basic needs, which then leads to the overexploitation of natural resources. This need, as well as the greed of some Filipinos, leads people to abuse the environment, which results in negative consequences for everyone living in the country. There are many environmental issues that the Philippines suffers from because of human actions. Human activities have done considerable damage to the land we live in. Deforestation is one of the prevailing problems this country faces, with illegal logging and poor planning resulting in flood damage in populated areas. Over the course of the 20th century, this has caused a huge decrease in forest cover from 70% to 20%. However, deforestation is not the only abuse. Insecticides and pesticides are used in agriculture to get rid of pests and maximize yields, but more often than not, they end up stripping the soil of valuable minerals and causing harm to wildlife. Various kinds of non-biodegradable waste is being generated each day, most of which ends up in landfills. Despite the fact that the Philippines has more than enough surface and groundwater, neglecting to have a coherent environmental policy has led to the contamination of 58% of the available groundwater. The main source of this pollution is untreated domestic and industrial wastewater. The Pasig River is the best example for this problem. Not only that, but the Philippines is also the third largest contributor of plastic waste in the world's oceans. This is a consequence of waste management issues and poverty that ends up affecting many others, like fishermen who end up catching plastics instead of fish, and the wildlife who end up eating bits and pieces of the plastic that floats around.
Drug abuse affects almost all countries of the world. In the Philippines, it has reached epidemic proportions and is one of the top priorities on the government's agenda. However, there are many questions to be answered in order to come up with a comprehensive program to address this problem. The prevalence of illegal drugs in the Philippines have not been accurately determined. However, estimates by the UNODC or the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime showed the annual prevalence for marijuana at 3.5%, amphetamine type stimulants at 2.8%, and ecstasy at 0.01% of the population above 15 years of age. According to the International Narcotics Control Strategy Report of 2003, it is estimated that there are 1.8 million drug users in the Philippines, which is equivalent to 2.2% of its population. There are a variety of factors that influence illegal drug prevalence in the Philippines, namely geographic factors that make patrolling and protecting the country from smugglers of methamphetamine and planters of marijuana difficult, economic factors such as poverty, social factors such as phenomenon of the overseas contract worker, media exposure and the decreasing moral fabric of the society, and political factors such as policies, drug laws, and enforcement. Not all drugs are illegal, it says. The caffeine in coffee, nicotine in cigarettes, and alcohol are technically legal drugs. Medicines are pharmaceutical drugs used to treat or prevent illnesses. They are legal, although they can't be abused. The ones that people should totally shun are the illegal drugs because they alter a person's mood, thinking, and behavior. All illegal drugs have immediate physical effects, and they also hinder psychological and emotional development, especially among young people, says the UNODC. Drugs cloud a user's judgment, making him or her take more risks. The effects of illegal drugs do not last long. When they wear off, a user gets depressed, lonely, sad, sick, appears confused, sweats a lot, has slot red eyes, and neglects his or her physical appearance.
The related Catholic social teaching about the abuse of the environment is 1. God's creation. This would greatly affect God's creation. because we are slowly destroying it, and some of us don't even notice it. And two, responsibilities and rights. We have our responsibilities as a part of the society to help restore our environment because this problem would affect all of us, especially to the poor people. And we also have the rights to take care of it because the poor people also have the rights to use resources that God has provided us. Solidarity. We need to support each other as we support ourselves because we need each other to solve this environmental issue because this issue is big enough that we can solve it on our own. The Philippines responds to the abuse of the environment, which is about to care for God's creation, rights and responsibilities, and solidarity, is how the DENR is now prioritizing the mitigation of climate change because we as human beings have the responsibility to take care of God's creation. As a part of the society, we should be able to contribute to our environment, like simply cleaning in our own home and throwing the garbage in the right place, and even donating funds or participate to those who are doing environmental project or activities that will benefit the society. We could also avoid using plastic and plant more trees if possible because what we are doing affect all of us and we should be responsible for all of our actions because we are aware of the current issue about the environment and capable of solving those kind of problems where others can't. We should think of others that are affected by our actions to the environment, especially for those who are most vulnerable because not everyone has the same circumstances as we do. God created those resources for all of us, and we should use it well for the common good, especially for the poor people. And whatever we do to our environment will greatly affect them because they are the most vulnerable. So we should take care of God's creation as we take care of the society, and we should remember that we only have one home and God made it for all of us to live our life.
We are all called to follow the footsteps of our Lord Jesus Christ. These Catholic social teachings, or CST, are necessary in the formation of a person and are important to Catholic education. Related CST for drug abuse, solidarity, care for God's creation, and rights and responsibility. These three CSTs are actually interconnected to each other, and this could be seen later on. Solidarity. Solidarity is a related CST because we are called to love and help one another. We must find ways to get rid of the problem because at the end of the day, we are one big family, and as family, we must help each other. We must not let others go through their problems alone, and we must be aware of their situation so that we can do something about it. Care for God's creation. Caring for God's creation is related to drug abuse because we are a part of God's creation. So we are responsible for taking care of ourselves and our fellow brothers and sisters. By using drugs, we are destroying ourselves and hurting those around us. Rights and responsibility. Rights and responsibility is actually very related to the CSTs mentioned earlier because it explains that we have the duty and responsibility to take care of ourselves and the people around us. We have the duty to make things right and help find a solution to the problems of other people instead of automatically judging them. We must find the root cause of their problems and find ways to help. Practical examples related to these CSTs. This includes raising awareness so that people would be educated on the current situations of some people and would be more open to being a part of the solution. Another example could be providing support to friends to prevent them from turning to drugs when things go wrong. Be a shoulder to cry on and offer your support and time.
Every morning, it is my habit that I will open my canvas and check on what are the things that I need to do.
With all the submissions of schoolworks, I feel like my life has no meaning.
Every day is a routine with waking up, going to bed, waking up again, do schoolwork.
I don't understand why I need to do this.
When life seems lost and hopeless, you might find yourself seeking happiness in the wrong place, in the wrong way. Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest.
It has come to my attention that you approached me because you were seeking for help. I understand that you've gone through many pains and troubles, especially in this time of quarantine and isolation. Can you share what it is that you've been struggling with?
I remember the first time that I took those was when I started feeling stressed or detached or alone. I started cutting off people in my life, my friends, my family, and that's when it started.
I feel that my life is so meaningless because I am experiencing and doing the same stuff for the rest of the pandemic. So it's making me tired, and then too much isolation led me to drugs.
I take an online class in getting my bachelor's degree, and I thought that I already achieved my goal, but it was not.
I found that recently if I cannot keep my emotions and my frustrations in check, if I cannot bottle them up, or if I do bottle them up and then I'm unable to take it anymore, I tell myself it's fine, and then when telling myself it is fine is not enough to make me feel like it's fine, I end up bursting and I take it out on something.
Do you still repeat those actions like taking drugs and smoking?
Yes, I am still doing it.
The last time I gave someone drugs was 5 days ago. I tried to stop myself from taking it again, but it looks like I need someone's help.
Right now, I've not done anything as bad or as extreme as hitting compared to before when I just started out bursting.
I try to stay away from those, and I try to keep myself healthy, but there are days when it's hard, and so I start doing it again. But I try, and it's hard, but I keep telling myself that I'll get there eventually. So yeah.
You were very brave for trying to fight against your struggles. I'm sure it wasn't easy for you to do. What was it that made you seek help?
One day, I feel that something is bothering me. And then, more people are now concerned with my mental health, or simply the state of my mental health.
There was a point when I realized that this wasn't good, and that I shouldn't keep living this way. And I realized that there is more to life than just being this. I realized that I could be better. I could be someone who I'm proud of, which is why I decided to enroll myself or to sign up in this counseling. And I really do hope that I could get there and get the help that I need.
It's when it got really, really big. I took it out on the scale just got bigger from objects to breaking objects to hitting my pets and even lashing out at my family. So the scale was really big. And then I realized that something's wrong with me. This shouldn't be this hard to control. I should do something about it. And so I decided to ask for help.
Fighting with this anxious thoughts that I have, it was really a challenge for me, wherein I get to ask myself, where do I ask for help? How do I overcome this challenge that I face? And in the end, I want to fight this because I am brave enough.
By acknowledging your problems and asking help so that you can be a better you, you've already taken a big first step. You're on the right track. If you stay determined and know for yourself that you can do it, you will do it. Before we end this meeting, I want to give you all a task. I want you each to take care of a plant. It doesn't have to be many. Just one plant of any type and size is enough. By taking care of it, you will come to direct your compassion outwards. And in time, you will learn to direct this compassion inwards to yourself.
Smoking, drugs, maltreatment. All of those arouse some distresses in their lives, but with their determination and willingness to help themselves, I am positive of their growth in the future. Days spent laying in bed, not wanting to wake up, will change. The strength lies in them to change and turn away from wrongs. Perhaps they finally directed their compassion inwards, be it through a simple meal cooked for oneself or developing what skills one already has. Perhaps they found happiness in their relationships with pets, family, friends, and God. Nurturing God's creation, no matter what size or type, teaches one to nurture love and compassion as well. With this in mind, I hope and pray that they go on with their lives with much love and happiness.
Spirit of God in the clear running water, blow into greatness the trees on the hill. Spirit of God in the finger of morning, fill the earth, bring it to birth and blow where you will. Blow, blow till I be but breath of the Spirit blowing in me.
Down in the meadows the willows are moaning, sheep in the pasture land cannot lie still. Spirit of God, creation is groaning, fill the earth, bring it to birth and blow where you will. Blow, blow, blow till I be but breath of the Spirit blowing in me.
I saw the scar of a year that lay